And last night was one of the best Freedom Corner vigils I've ever seen. Last night was vigil number 609, Easter Sunday. And man, was it a great night there. Had so many good phone calls, and even had some great singing from the J6ers in the prison there. It was a night to remember. So it looks like our network's bouncing around a little bit here. We'll go with it and see what happens here. First of all, last night they started at 6:30, and it was great seeing the whole crowd in there. Cindy and Angelina was there. It was good to see you two up at Freedom Corner. And then I saw Julia, Pennsylvania Patriots. Julia and little Mikey. I'm not sure if Michael was there or not. I never did see him I never did see Michael from Pennsylvania in there. Jamie Crow made it down there. She did a live stream from the corner. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool seeing all them Patriots down there. And they got started at 6:30. They made a whole bunch of food there. They had a beautiful Easter dinner. And everybody got a great plate of food there. Okay, not sure if anybody's in the chat. I'm not receiving chat right now. Don't know why. But anyways, great crew at the Freedom Corner. Started at 6:30, had some good music, and before 7 o'clock, we got a call from Olivia Pollock. She called in. She's in the ladies' side on the gulag there. She's awaiting trial with her and her brother, or they might have already had their trials. But she was talking about how they made some great food with the other ladies in the prison there. They got a microwave apparently, and they were able to get like a lasagna casserole dish or something. And man, and just the messages of faith that are coming out of every single one of these J6ers that have called us last night is amazing, man. Quite a testament to we're covered, man. God's got his hands. He's covering us with his love, his mercy, his protection. And it was just great to hear that out of every single one of the callers that we had last night. And then Olivia Pollock was also talking about the J6 cookbook and calendar. Or first of all, a cookbook. They want to start a cookbook of all the nifty, ingenious recipes that they've come up with to have there in the gulag. And also that Olivia was like, hey, well, let's not forget a calendar. You know, let's get a calendar going with all these Patriots. So it was pretty cool there. All right, I got chat right on there. Hey, Lee Sorensen, Carol Burton, happy birthday. I heard it's your birthday, Carol. Hi, Priscilla. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. It's Monday, April Fool's Day. So, man, it was just great to hear from Olivia. She is, her faith is just solid, and it's great to hear. It is so uplifting to hear this. We worry so much about the people in the jail there, you know. But then when we hear from them, it's obvious that they're covered. Their faith is strong. And that is so good to see, man. Jerry Robertson, hello. No, I didn't see they're calling for him to get for Biden, FJB, to get excommunicated from the Catholic Church. But he should. I mean, what a buffoon, man. What a slap in the face. I just hope it's another exposure of further wickedness, you know. How long does this go on? We're on day 1,183. How long does it gotta go on, Jerry? And hey, Jerry Plus is in the house. Hey, Jerry. We got two Jerrys. How's it going, bud? Oh, your birthday was Friday. Okay, Carol. Sounds good. But everyone's Carol, you're one of the hardest working mods in the whole business, man, and we really appreciate you, Carol. So we're just gonna wish you happy birthday for like a week, okay? It's just so great that you're helping out everywhere you can. You're even helping out on my channel. Your tireless efforts towards this are very appreciated, Carol. Hi, Carrie's Musings. Hi, Cleo. Hello there. So the faith that we're hearing out of everybody that's calling out from there. Next call was from Taylor Jonatakis, and he mentioned that they were having something called the Hopium Den, which is a random event the guys in the prison hold every once in a while. It was started by Robert Morse, who was in the DC Gulag, man, it seems like so long ago, like 2 years ago. And he used it to uplift the spirits of all the people that were in there with him, to bring up their happiness level, just to make them have something to take their mind off the fact of what the government's doing to them down there. And he called it the Hopium Den. And they have skits, they sing songs, they do any type of entertaining thing. I think they do some charade stuff, and it's just a really cool event that the guys had his trial, been sentenced. I think Robert's out in Colorado now in a BOP facility, and he can't call out to us anymore. But Robert Morse has been a blessing to every prison they put him in. He has started Bible studies in all these areas. He has started the Hopium Den. And it's just, he's a great patriot. He reminds me of Joseph in the Bible, man. If you know the story of Joseph, he was imprisoned wrongfully, yet he remained true to his God, never doubted it 1 second. And that's Robert Morse all the way. He has a website still, and he has like a book recommendation list. He always had great phone calls when we were able to talk to him. And it is called The Lego Man. Let me see, the Lego Man with 2 G's in there, so he doesn't like copyright infringement on something. AKA The Lego Man. That's what his website is called. Hi, Crying in the Dark. Hello there. So anyways, Taylor Jonatakis was saying, yeah, it's Hopium Den night, and they were, he had to separate himself from that. It was occurring while he called, so he had to like kind of leave that in order to call out to us at Freedom Corner. Taylor Jonatakis shared with us a dream that he had that he felt was rather prophetic, and it was about walking down a trail. There was some type of a fire going on. I don't know. If you're going to listen to one Freedom Corner Vigil, if you don't watch them all the time, last night was a top 10 Freedom Corner. There was just so much cool stuff, and you'll hear about it. I'll just tell you about it right now. And by the way, 1791 Stormtrooper and Deb for Freedom put out many shorts about last night's vigil already. There's one with Olivia's phone call. There's one with little Michael waving the flag. There's Steve Capuccio, David Dempsey's phone calls, and then the singing that the guys did later. So there's a bunch of really good shorts out there from Deb for Freedom and 1791 Stormtrooper. Thanks for putting out the shorts, you guys. It's a lot easier just to watch one of them, and then you really catch the super inspiring moments of the vigils that happen there. Sometimes it is unbearable, like when there's the screamers there or whatever. But last night was great. The weather was beautiful. Lots of good crowd there. Lots of good patriots, man. Hi, Jay Jones. Yeah, last night was great, wasn't it, man? Hi, Patriot Finder, or Pathfinder Patriot. Hello. How's it going? Taylor Jonatakis shared with us that dream he had. And then he talked about how he has made, there's other places that he would rather be, but he's made good friends while he's been in jail. And which patriots and believers do that wherever they are. So they're making friends in there. And Taylor shared some of that with us. Misses his family. He really misses his kids, man. He's missed a couple of holidays now from home. He's missed 2 of his kids' birthdays now so far. And that bums him out, man. There was a little bit of an emotional moment there at the end of Taylor's phone call. We can all feel his pain, but they are making the best of the bad circumstances that they've had, man. Hi, Ridgeline. I didn't realize you were sick. Oh, man. Something's going around, Ridgeline. We'll pray for you. Pray for all of us, always. Yeah. And then some of our Patriots, we find out we're at home. You know, some people didn't get to go out. I know, like, Silly for him was under the weather also, and just not feeling very good. So there's a bug going around. Just take care of yourselves, Patriots. Get the rest. Nothing like a good night's rest. I was fighting a food coma bad yesterday. Had a great meal with the family, and I was exhausted by 5 o'clock yesterday, and was barely able to snap out of it to make Freedom Corner. Yeah, prayers for you, Ridgeline, man. We'll pray you get well quickly here. Oh, man, crying in the dark's got a sinus infection. Oh, man, it's going around. So it was great to hear from Taylor, feeling his pain, though, and we just got to keep going, Patriots. I know this gets old. It's been almost 1,200 days, and these people have been insisting that we are violent for that long. That long. They've been insisting that the J6ers and the people that believe that election was rigged are violent domestic terrorists. And how can that be true if we've been for 1,183 days, we're waiting for justice to take hold and deliver some justice here. So we're not violent people, yet they every day will say something about how violent we are and that everybody needs to be scared of us. But what actually happened was we decided, FJB got to show us that something that's more important than Easter to him is Transvisibility Day. And I heard that Transvisibility Day was invented in like 2004 or something. I don't know. You just can't believe everything you read. But yeah, apparently it was invented in 2004, but just was never announced until March 31st, landed on Easter. And that's when the fake president decided to make his proclamation that Easter Sunday was Transvisibility Day. So, I mean, that's more in our favor. How many more people woke up yesterday and went, wow, this FJB guy's not cool at all. So it's happening. And it's starting to look like the other side's realizing that they're not going to win this next election, and retribution's going to be potent, man. Look at how they came after us. They're setting precedents on what can happen in courtrooms with how they're prosecuting J6ers and Trump. And when Trump gets in office, man, it's going to be retribution. That's for sure. But we got to stick with it. We have to continue the pressure that we've been putting on everybody up until this point and not let go of that. Wow, next year Easter's on 4/20. How about that? Yeah, FJB. All right, so here's a thought, Patriots. Remember when Christ was crucified on a Friday, right? And the sun went dark. Okay, do you remember that? That part of the story? And it went dark for 3 hours. And that was at a different time. And since that time, the calendars have been changed many times. You know, we got the Gregorian calendar, we got the Caesar calendar. And before, when Christ was alive, walking on the planet, it was the Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar. So, and it's hard to like discern when some of these holidays occur because they have to do with counting moons and stuff like that. And the Hebrew calendar had 13 months in it, believe it or not. They were directly related to moon phases. And I don't know, I just got to thinking there's a solar eclipse like next week. Do they got the dates right? And God puts these, the sun and the moon and the stars up there for signs and times. And we got a solar eclipse coming right around when Easter is. Is Easter on the right day right now? And I don't know enough to be able to determine when Passover is by myself. I used to, but I forgot all that information now. But there is a solar eclipse coming up in a week. It's next Friday, which is the, or no, it's not next Friday. It's the 8th. So it's next Sunday. Just weird. It's just weird, man. It could be prophetic. And I'm hearing things. And things are happening in our world that makes it look like the veil may be lifted here soon when all wickedness will be exposed. Because that's what the prophecies tell us, man. Hey, Stormbringer, hello, man. Hi, Sherry Thomas. It's good to have you all here. Thanks for joining me. Hello, Lamont Cherie, Sherry Thomas. The next phone call was from Chris Quaglin, and Chris was even, telling us how much his faith helps him. It keeps him strong in there. Chris is in the thick of it right now with his battle. He's battling it out with the courts right now. He's got all these grievances and stuff that he's filed. He's going to try to bring into the courts all the mistreatment that was put upon him. And in a way that has caused him grief in how he prepares for his trials. That made it impossible to prepare for his trials. No access to a law library. No access to computers that have legal information on them. It's really horrible what they've been doing to Chris Quaglin. So keep them all in your prayers, man. Chris is in the middle of it. I'm praying for him every day. But his faith will keep him strong. No doubt about it, man. Yeah, we got CERN is firing up their, whatever you call it, the superconductor loop over there in France on April 8th, on the day of the solar eclipse. Okay, the next phone call tonight was from a guy. I don't remember ever hearing from this dude, but his name was Stephen Capuccio. And he has been tried and found guilty and sentenced to 7 years in prison like 5 months ago. But he just had his temperature taken, so he's apparently about to be shipped out of the gulag. He gave a call out to Freedom Corner and just wanted to express his gratitude to everybody that's been standing out there for the to free the J6ers for 609 nights now in a row. He says he has family in the San Antonio area, and he believes that he's heading to Oklahoma. That might just be a temporary stop from D.C. once he gets shipped out. But my God, 7 years in prison, man, for standing up and asking Congress to take a look at that election for 10 days, And the other side just wants everyone to believe that Donald Trump tried to steal the election from himself because he was the president at the time. It's too bizarre of a story. I just pray that America is waking up, man. We have to be moral. We have to be good people in order to have God watch over our nation, And it's apparent that our leaders are satanic, corrupt. I mean, who else would usurp Easter, usurp Passover, the high holiday of the Christian religion, and call it Trans Visibility Day? It's horrid. And furthermore, FJB didn't let the kids do any type of religious decorations on the Easter eggs at the White House Easter egg roll. So now FJB's censoring children too, you know? We pray that the wickedness is exposed. That is part of this whole Vigil Freedom Corner deal, man, is we are pointing our fingers at it, going, that is wicked, and not backing down. Just pointing our fingers in the face of tyrants and just telling them, you're a tyrant. This is not cool. This is not how we want. We believe that you are illegitimate. You guys messed up the elections so that we can't even vote in the people that we want. And I believe that if we do vote in the people that we want, most of these people wouldn't be here. If we had valid, honest elections, that's how most of them get into power, man. Ridgeline Silly was under the weather yesterday too, so she might just be sleeping. Silly was just taking care of her father and her mother, and she said she wasn't feeling too good by the end of the day yesterday, and she was laying down. So a lot of us are under the weather, Ridgeline. Just take it easy, rest up, get your rest. Honey and apple cider vinegar is really good for this kind of stuff too. If you ever had it, it tastes really good too. It's good for you. So we're hoping, good luck, Stephen Cappuccio. It was great to hear from you. It was great to hear about your faith in Christ. And he is kind of, he says he was happy and sad about leaving the gulag. He's got the whole pod with all these patriots, and they've all been taking care of each other and helping each other with their court cases and sentencings and stuff that has been happening. But he's going to be hopefully closer to family once he gets settled into a Bureau of Prisons area to serve out his 7-year sentence, man. Until Trump gets in office and pardons all these guys. Next phone call was from David Dempsey. Okay, and Deb for Freedom has that Stephen Cappuccio video, phone call on a video, a short video that she made. Next phone call was David Dempsey, also talking about his faith in Christ, our King, our Redeemer. The one who shed his blood so that we can have a relationship with God because we are fallen, They all know it. They all know it. And it's great, man. All right, yeah, honey in hot water and pour just a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar in there, Ridgeline. That's really good for you. Hi, Karen Saab and Amber Rose. Hello. Good to see you. Yeah, no whiskey for a couple days. Yeah, that might be a good idea too there. Good, David Dempsey called in, and I think Stormtrooper has a video on David Dempsey's phone call. Hey, Gator Girl, there you are. Good to see you. Boomer. Yeah, Boomer, how many DC judges are corrupt, man? There was a DC judge that was on a news show. I can't remember which one it was, but what a pompous, egotistical tyrant. I mean, this guy is, from the bench, he has made all these statements about Donald Trump, and he's a federal judge, and now he's going on to news shows expressing his beliefs on that. So it's pretty horrible, man. I didn't write down what that judge, I should have wrote that down so you guys could go check that out. But man, it's just a federal judge that's sentencing J6ers to like 7 years like Stephen Cappuccio got. And then from the bench, he's saying these things that Donald Trump is not a good leader and all that kind of stuff. It's horrible, man. Bunch of tyrants. Let's see. Dempsey was also talking about the gulag disrespects the religion. I mean, it was a long time until those guys finally got religious services in there. And I think even Bibles, man. I remember making the phone calls so that these guys could actually get a Bible in there. So Dempsey was just pointing out that the jail disrespects the religion of the J6ers specifically, in withholding religious services from them. Who was it? Taylor John Attackers was just saying the other day that finally a chaplain was able to visit them, but the chaplain came up while they were on outdoor recreation for the first time in 3 weeks. The first time they let these guys outside, and that the timing was off on being able to have a religious service, man. But they did have a religious service yesterday in the morning. I think Stephen Capuccio mentioned that. So yeah, the Gulag disrespects on their religion. David Dempsey affirmed his faith in Christ, and awesome patriot David Dempsey is. Okay, now somewhere in there was 2 different times where the J6ers sang some hymns, man, and it was really awesome. I think it started with Jeff Sable when he first called. He called in kind of early, like 8:20 or something like that. Usually he doesn't call until like 8:50, and they sang us a hymn. It was just beautiful, man. The men's choir hymn, the J6 men's choir hymn. They sang a hymn, and then they hung up the phone. We did the roll call, and then when they called back, they had another hymn, and the one was Amazing Grace. And Johnny Pollock did an amazing solo in the middle of that song. It was so good to hear, man. That guy could sing too. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And Joseph Hutchinson was on the phone call with Jeff also between the songs. Joseph is who told us about the morning service that they had there in the Gulag finally. Easter service. And Joseph was just saying how blessed we are, man. So Joseph Hutchinson, Johnny Pollock, and Olivia Pollock are recent newcomers to the Gulag. And these 3 are an incredible powerhouse of Christians and believers. And they are such a blessing every time we get to hear from them. And last night, they just knocked my socks, or Johnny knocked my socks off with the singing that he did. And that's on a short video too. I think Dead for Freedom or Stormtrooper both did one on the Amazing Grace song that they did. And they were all just rejoicing in our risen Savior in the middle of a prison. That they're thrown in jail for no crimes whatsoever. They're thrown in jail by an illegitimate regime in Washington right now. They're not violent domestic terrorists like they've been trying to tell the whole country for getting on 1,200 days now. And I hope the wickedness is exposed, man, sooner or later. Let's walk that FJB right out of that White House, man. I don't know why he's allowed to finish out his term, man. I think Jeff Sable then was talking about a little bit of Julian Assange extradition information. Apparently Julian Assange had a trial over in England where he is in prison right now. And they want to extradite him to America. But America has a death penalty on the books. And England will not extradite Julian Assange until the death penalty is taken off the books. I think I got that understood right. So his extradition got delayed, and he will remain in the jail over there in England, I believe. Jeff Sable also mentioned about there's an Ivan Raikland interview, and that was on Cowboy Logic. I looked that up and got to see some of it, and Ivan Raikland is on to a little bit of information that we all need to know about why J6 is happening. and he claims that the Capitol Police force is kind of like a little military, and there's only 3 people in charge of it: the leader of the House, the leader of the Senate, and the architect, the DC architect, I think it's called. The president picks one, and the majority House and Senate leaders have it, and they are accountable to nobody, basically. They work in conjunction with the Metro Police Department. They have overlapping jurisdictional areas, but basically, I think that's why they wanted Trump to go up to the Capitol, and that's probably why he didn't go up to the Capitol, because he stayed out of their jurisdiction. So I think there's going to be a lot of information coming out about that. I mean, it's getting old waiting on this, and if this is true now, it was true 3.5 years ago. Why is it now that it's coming out? So I don't know, Patriots. And all these J6ers are being asked to make a huge sacrifice by this information not coming out. So there better be a real good reason why this information had to wait until now to come out. So if you want to look at it, that Ivan Raiklin interview was on Cowboy Logic 2 nights ago, I believe. And Cowboy Logic made a short video of that that interview with Ivan. You don't have to watch like the whole show. They clipped it out and made a special video about that. So man, Patriots, one of the best fit. That was definitely, as soon as it was over, I was thinking that was a top 10 Vigil. One of the best that's ever happened out there in 609 nights. And there's been a lot. And I say that a lot, that it's the best one ever. But I mean, last night was just awesome. The chat was going off on Christ is King and He is risen, and it was we were all amped up on our God, on our faith, on the accomplished sacrifice of Christ. The fact that we don't have to live subject to evil. We can bust out of this by just accepting Christ as our Savior, and then trying to turn your life around, learn about Him, figure out what it is that He likes, what it is He doesn't like, and try to live a good life. Spread love instead of hate, basically, right? So yeah, man, we are blessed. The J6ers blessed me immensely yesterday, and a lot of other people were mentioning that same fact too. Right, Crying in the Dark says we need to stop accepting the breadcrumbs that are being thrown to our J6ers. It is unacceptable. So one of the things that is unacceptable is the fact that nobody's doing nothing about any of this stuff. We got the courts running rogue. We got the overlapping police forces just randomly busting people. We got FBI going in like paramilitary units when all they need to do is call these people and they would turn themselves in, basically, man. Hey, they're silly. Silly. I hope you're doing all right, sweetheart. Silly with the link. Here's that Ivan Raiklin. So it is very interesting what he's saying. Ivan is quite the accomplished dude, man. And it is hard to keep up with him, what he's talking about sometimes. He knows so much stuff. But it is getting old and tiring, waiting for all this stuff to come to pass. In the meantime, everybody's in jail. Their kids don't have fathers and mothers in the house. They're missing a parent. This is... we can only imagine that this is God's will, you know. The Mullet Fund. Oh, man. Well, thanks for the link, Sylvia. All right, let's get into a little bit of news here. I just read up this morning that Israel has struck the Iranian consulate and demolished it. I mean, it was a precision strike right in the middle of Damascus, of all reasons. And just the other day, people in the chat were mentioning about this Damascus prophecy, There is a prophecy in the scriptures about Damascus that the end times don't happen until Damascus is a ruinous heap, I think is how it's worded. I think it's in Isaiah. I remember studying this in depth for a while and realizing that Damascus is one of the oldest cities on the planet that has never been leveled in war for any reason. Somehow or another, Damascus has remained a city that has avoided getting conquered. It might have been taken over, but it was never demolished like they used to do in battles when you would take over a city in war. You know, they used to just demolish, level the city so that nothing was left of the enemy. But Damascus is one of them cities that has never been demolished. Yet in Isaiah, one of the unfulfilled prophecies in the Old Testament is that Damascus will be a ruinous heap. And looking at pictures of, you know, Damascus there with this massive building that is just leveled to the ground, and Israel is behind it. Israel strikes the Iranian consulate. Is this the beginning? The destruction of Damascus, is it beginning right now? It's biblical. That's right, Boomer. It is biblical. Oh, man. Silly's got the storm chasers running around there, too. You got some bad weather. Just, you're in the right space then, Silly. Just hang out in bed, make tea, watch TV, hang out in the Vigil tonight. Oh, did I miss a link in here? No. No, Jay, that was a link for the Ivan Raiklin interview on Cowboy Logic. Here, I'll post it again. Okay, so I was just wondering, is Damascus about to get destroyed? Because that happens right at the end times, and it sure does. Other than the fact that Damascus hasn't been destroyed, it's odd. It's odd. Hi, Isabella. Good to see you today. Yeah, Jay, the embassy, not the embassy, the Iranian consulate got destroyed in Damascus. Okay, some more wacky stuff going on in Colorado here, okay? We all know that Ken Buck just recently absconded his position, dereliction of duty. He got elected by people in Colorado. He decided not even to fulfill the rest of his term. Oh, wow. I'll post this one too. El Paso judge orders the release of the illegals who stormed the border and rioted against National Guard. So that must be from that photo op that they took the other day. I got my doubts about that story. Problems going on in this country. That's one of the main things we got to be paying attention to. But anyways, Ken Buck is not going to run for office again. And there will be an election to have his replacement in Colorado, but the Uniparty in Colorado is making it impossible for Lauren Boebert to run for Ken Buck's position or something. So the Uniparty in Colorado is pulling a fast one out there. And somehow or another, they're attacking Lauren Boebert through all this too. And Lauren Boebert, we know, is a pretty solid Republican. I don't think she's a rhino at all. She has stood up for our J6ers several times. And so if you're in Colorado, man, heads up on whatever they're doing with this replacement election and the primary election that Lauren Boebert is currently involved in, man. Oh, my goodness. Is FJB sniffing babies again? Yikes, man. Yikes. For the world to see, America. For the world to see. So heads up, Colorado. Something's up with Ken Buck and his replacement election and the primary. That's all going on the same day. So it made it impossible for Lauren Boebert to run in both of the elections or something. It was hard to understand what was going on, but there's shenanigans going on in Colorado. That's for sure. Okay, and then there's something from Russian news that's supposed to be posted tonight. It wasn't known yet what is the news, but I did see a report that Russia is doing a mass deportation of Muslims out of the country after this attack at a concert hall that killed 140 people there. There is supposed to be some type of Russian news release tonight that is supposed to be bombshell. So I don't know what that's going to have to do with. It could be all the evidence that they have on the Nord Stream pipeline and our involvement with that, and not our involvement, but our spooks, our government's involvement with that, and our government's involvement with potentially the attack at the concert hall was probably came out of Ukraine, and we are funding Ukraine, and that makes us associated with that. So look for some news coming out of Russia tonight, is all I can say about that. Okay, and then instead of Trans Visibility Day, when is the Vaccine Injured Visibility Day going to be? You know, when we're going to have a visibility day so that we can acknowledge all the people that are dead now from the vaccines, that have received real bad injuries from it, blood clots, heart problems, tumors. When is that day going to be? You know, do we got to continually honor these transsexuals and homosexuals and the LI and run through that one courthouse in D.C.? There's something going on. Ivan Raiklin is on that with that interview that he gave. All this is a country of law and order. We need to have okay. All right, we just had some buffering. Okay, here's a little piece of info from Sylvia. Driver rams vehicle into front security gate at FBI headquarters in Atlanta. The whole FBI is rotting at the top, man. You've seen it how many times this year on any of these committee hearings that have been happening in D.C. These people will not answer a simple question, and they are definitely covering up for everything. They've covered up Epstein Island. We watched FBI. People swarm that whole island, and we haven't heard a peep out of that for 3 years or 4 years. FBI just went in and raided the P. Diddy debacle. Haven't heard a peep out of that. We don't know what's going on in there. We the people got to know. That's what law and order is. So, I don't know. It's time people are rising up against it, man. We got all these pro-Palestinian supporters out saying FJB, you know. The whole country is calling for get that guy out of the White House. So when does it happen? If the whole country is calling for the president to step down and he doesn't step down, what happens? You know, do we got to wait for this election if the whole entire country wants this man removed? So I know we got the Mayorkas impeachment going to the Senate now. I don't know. Are they all on vacation now for 2 weeks again? Will they vote before? Do we got to wait for them to come back off vacation? So it's a mockery of this system that we believe in here, that we need, one of the best governments on the planet, and this regime is just making a mockery of the whole thing. Hey, Greg Kelly. I don't know why a guy would ram his gate into the FBI building, you know? MK Ultra, maybe? I don't know. FBI is going around pissed off a lot of people. Yeah, and I saw this highway collapse too, man, down near Big Sur, I think. I mean, that's an amazing highway there, but it does look prone to earth slides and stuff like that. Yeah, Boomer. Are we waiting for something, or what do we got to do to initiate this? I'm saying walk out. FJB, walk out. I don't want to hurt any good old American companies, but I think these globalist companies that are part of the New World Order, if you work for one of them companies, walk out, you know? But that may not work either, because that's what the vaccine did. It made a bunch of people leave, and then the only people that are left working at these companies are the ones that took the vaccine. So, I don't know. We're waiting on God, I guess. I mean, this will happen on God's plan for sure. But somehow or another, he's going to use us to do it, just like he used Moses and the Israelites on delivering them out of Egypt for the original Passover. What was that, 4,500 years ago, man. All right, what else does Sylvia have for us? Arizona rancher trial, evidence never recovered. Can't definitively prove he fired the fatal shot. Well, they're making his life hell, aren't they? The shoddy work of law enforcement everywhere and our courts. Okay, and then just on a closing note, the Francis Scott Key Bridge disaster is only like 4 or 5 days old now. I was looking up some stuff because I can't believe that, I don't care how big that shipping container is, how can that thing shear off 4 concrete posts that was holding up that section of the bridge all at the same time. And I was trying to find out how actually big those concrete posts were. Concrete is one thing that I know a lot about. I've done a lot of concrete work in my life, and it's kind of, it looks really obvious to me that something blew up the bases of those pieces of concrete all at the same time. If a ship hit it and snapped one of them off, and the one snapping would then break the other one, and then those two breaking would break the other two. It wouldn't all happen at one time, but it did all happen at one time. So basically, a ship hit one corner of the bridge abutment, which was made up of 4 massive posts. Each one of them posts, I was trying to find out how big they are, how thick they are. And it looks like they're about as thick as a shipping container. So a shipping container is 8 feet wide by, 10 feet tall. So this is 4 solid posts of solid concrete, 8 by 10 feet, and they all snapped off all at one time. If a ship were to hit the corner of that, it would break one off, which would then, that would topple the other one, because the way they're built like this seems to be a flawed design. Hard to get that information on the internet right now, though. That's for sure. And it seems the concrete would have left there is a big gaping hole in the ship, but the ship is collapsible. The ship isn't solid. The concrete is solid. So it's just impossible that ship, as it smashed into that thing, broke all 4 of them off as soon as it hit it, you know? You could see a puff of dust that looks really small in the video, but when you really calculate the size of that cloud of dust that came off of it, that cloud of dust was wider than the whole ship was. So it had to be 150 feet, you know? And we're just going to spin around and around and around with the news stories and the Army Corps of Engineers and FJB saying he'll buy them a new bridge and the whole story. They're going to make a total clown show out of it and call anybody who questions it a hater and a conspiracy theorist, man. So if it was a planned op? What was the plan? Was the plan to take that bridge down, or was the plan to keep that container ship from leaving that port? And so far, I've seen nobody talking about inspecting what's on that ship right now. And it's sitting there right in front of us the whole time. But nobody, and I mean nobody, has said, let's look at what's in that ship. Where is the, what do you call it? The bill of lading, the chart that has what's in all them containers. What companies contracted to have all those containers put on that boat? So there's two reasons that could have been. If it is an operation, if it is a mission, it was either to take that bridge down, or it was to keep that boat from leaving. And I'm thinking there's something on that ship, and if they just try to sweep that whole aspect of this under the rug without even mentioning it, I think we found out why. And I'm not naturally a conspiracy theorist, but they've just pulled this on me so many times that immediately, if they say black, I say white. If they say red, I say blue. You know, that's all there is to it at this point. I will not be lied to again. Yeah, very little of that cargo fell off of that ship. And you would think, a bunch of it would fall off. Is that a fact there, Boomer? Because I haven't heard of that yet, man. I haven't heard this yet. But that's what I'm thinking. Something's up with that. Or illegals, or weapons, or something's in them containers. Yeah, they're going to have to move. Well, I don't know if they'll have to unload that whole ship or not, Greg. I did see they started deconstructing the, they're starting to tear the debris off of the ship. And that gas does go pretty close to waterline, so I don't know if they can move it back without unloading it or not. There is a lot of shifty stuff on that. So I tried finding the blueprints for that bridge. The problem is that the name of that bridge changed several times. I got something interesting here. Okay, here it is. So see the way those four legs come down on that part right there? This is an actual shot of that bridge. I think when they were building it, the ship hit one of them corners and all four of them snapped off at the same time. That just doesn't seem physically possible that would happen like that. And there was they're all broken off right at waterline too. Now, something else I found out was that one man died while they were building that. One guy had, there's steel cages inside of that concrete as they're pouring it. And one of the steel rods collapsed and killed one man while they were building that. And there was problems with the concrete while they were pouring those main supports, not the other supports. And that was in a report that I saw. So we'll just hang out and wait and see what other information comes out on this whole thing. And we'll take that down. All right. And we'll wait and see if we ever do find out what's on that ship, man. It ain't just a bunch of containers. There's something in. What is there, 1,000 containers on that boat, man? All right, Jerry's on to something here. Jerry Robertson. It is a lot of doom and gloom, Ridgeline. It is a lot of doom and gloom. But it's going to be this way. This is the end time prophecies say this is how it's going to be. Just read your Bible. The Bible will the scriptures will make you feel better no matter what. You will realize that God always has a remnant. He always saves his people. He didn't destroy Sodom and Gomorrah until he got the one good man and his family out of there. Abraham begged with the Lord before he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And God promised he would not destroy it if there was 10 good people in that city. So we will be delivered. How that pans out, I don't know. If we're going to grow wings and we can go fly somewhere, anything's possible. It's going to be cool. So just buckle in and read the scriptures. It'll make you feel better. Pray for the Spirit to calm your soul. And he brings peace to you all the time. That's the lesson of the J6ers, Ridgeline. In prison, man. They are suffering. To us out here, I can't imagine that amount of suffering that those guys are going through is incomprehensible. I would think I would be losing my mind if I was one of them guys. Yet, there they are. They're in there dealing with it. And Hutchinson says sometimes you wake up and it's like bliss. You know, you can experience bliss while you're in prison unjustly for something you know, and sometimes it's easy to just get caught up in that. God is in control, though, Ridgeline. God is in control. Yeah, right, Lisa McNeely. It is. It's common sense, you know. God gave me brain cells. I'm using them. I'm using my eyes. I'm using my ears. I'm not like lying to myself. Okay, Jerry Robertson says, Matthew Graves has redacted his oath's signature. This oath is witnessed by former Chief Judge Beryl Elaine Howell, having an illegally changed oath of office herself, already on January 6th case and record. Yes, I was... Okay, so who was talking about that not long ago? Wasn't James Grant? Oh, man. Yes, one of the J6ers is all over that. David with Freedom Express Media went up and interviewed the guy, the J6er, that is all over this oath was changed thing. The written oath was altered. Some of them didn't even take a written oath. Some of them did a verbal oath. Yes, there is something about the oath, Jerry, that needs to come out. That needs to come out. How you doing? We need peace. Hi, Bonnie. Good to see you. Yeah, and that's the thing. Boomer says ships, planes, railroads, cars, they all have China chips in them. So, and we know that from the 40s, man, the communists, it was read right into our congressional hearings. The plan for the communists was to dismantle the family unit, to make it promiscuous and homosexuality rampant. And they are achieving all their goals that they stated back in the 40s and the 50s. So, yeah, Jerry, thanks for sharing that. Thank you. We will definitely hear more about that because there is something to that. The oath of office there. Are these judges even operating on the existing oath of office if this Capitol Police force that Ivan Raiklin's talking about is so unique, you know? Apparently it's not like any other police force. There's no sheriff. There's no public input on who's in the police force. It's just a police force at the disposal of the president, and the sergeant of arms of the House, sergeant of arms at the Senate. So it's a unique thing, and maybe that's the loophole that they're getting all this through. These judges are just subcontracting out to the Capitol Police Force or something like that. And then the BOP is just subcontracting out to them to basically human traffic all these guys into prisons all over the place. It ain't right. That's all we know about it. It is not right what's going on. And these men are not domestic terrorists. They are not criminals. They had every right in the world to be at the Capitol that day. Frank Guistino? Yes. Yes, Tammy Green. You mods are awesome. We were just talking about that in Jamie's chat last night. How do you guys remember all this information? It's just from your memory. Tammy Green, unbelievable. You are awesome. Yeah, there's a 1 hour video from the America's First Warehouse up in New York where Guistino just goes over it. And the dude speaks clearly. He's easy to follow. And that's what he was talking about. And then when he was here at the Gulag, he was talking about it too. He was over the police force, but he was outnumbered 2-1 there, Lamont. So it's if you got two Democrats and a Republican in control, the Republican gets overruled. So there's three people that decide who the police chief is, and that's why Yolanda, whatever her name is, was installed on that. And then there was the other guy that supposedly committed suicide, that was part of the leadership of the Capitol Police before Yolanda. All right, what's this? Stu Does America from the Blaze calls Buttigieg Calamity Pete in a satire piece saying he's doing all this bridge damage. Yeah, and then this guy, Pete Buttigieg, is the transportation secretary of the country. For the world to see. America, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Walk FJB out of that White House. We don't need to wait for no election. This guy's a criminal. He's a decrepit. He's sniffing babies at the Easter egg party. It's our house, Carol. That's right. Men have been getting bashed for a long time, man. We need peace. That was something I started seeing right out of high school. Hey, LA Forgiven, hello. Yeah, the Vigil's about getting ready to start here, isn't it? Heads up to your Colorado family there. That this Ken Buck thing and Lauren Boebert election's getting weird. It looks like the Uniparty's making a move in Colorado here. At the same time, Ken Buck is a derelict of duty on his position. They're also trying to keep Lauren Boebert from winning an election just by confusing the voters in Colorado. So give them a heads up there, LA Forgiven. Tell them to keep an eye on this primary and this election coming up for Ken Buck's replacement. They're running them both at the same time, and it's going to be very confusing to most voters there. All right, so yeah, we got to get rolling here, Patriots. Thanks for joining me today. Stay plugged in. It does get overwhelming, like Ridgeline is saying, man. It's hard to take sometimes. Tap out for a couple of days. Put the phone down. Give yourself a break from it, because it is intense. It is no doubt intense. But the best way to win a marathon is to pace yourself so you don't blow up in the middle of the race. And if that's what it takes, just take a couple days off, man. That's what I just did Friday and Saturday, man. I didn't know I was going to do it. All of a sudden, I just went, I don't want to pick that phone up today. And I didn't. And it gave me a rest from all of it. And I'm ready to come back into it and start digesting all this garbage information again and trying to keep my finger on the pulse of what's going on so we don't lose control of this. If we just all tap out and give up, that's not an option. So tap out, take a couple days off, rest up, tune into this. I'll give you the notes on what's going on at the Vigil if you can't watch the whole Vigil, and just go, figure it out. We got to pace ourselves, but we got to stay engaged, Patriots. And you guys are wonderful for doing this already. And we got a great army going, man, with Tammy Green, Sully for him, Carol Burton, Ridgeline on Edge. We got Stormtrooper, Dead for Freedom, putting out the short videos of the most awesome phone calls on one of the best vigils ever last night. If you want an uplifting video, watch the J6 choir singing them songs last night. What a blessing that was, man. All right, Patriots. I'm going to tap out right now, and I'll see you at the Vigil in the chat on Sapphire Patriots channel tonight. And we will, let me give you this one link right here real quick. Good dig, silly.